So we're going to be talking about the personal growth of Scrooge and the opportunities of past, present, and future. The first point being discussing an event from Scrooge's past. So this might be where you talk about ghost number one that came in and invited Scrooge to remember how much fun it was when he was a small kid growing up and in his early adult life, when he was invited to parties and he was in love. So the support of the first point would be a past event, and the details, of course, would be expressed. The second point would talk about a present opportunity. So that would be ghost number two. So you could talk about the ghost number two, the event, and possibly how Scrooge rejected that one too, because he rejected the first one as well. Examples on each of it. And then ghost number three comes into the story. That's our third point, is talking about a future experience. And ghost number three then gives him a look forward to what life might be if he didn't change his ways and understand that the Christmas had more to do with it than counting your money. So that was the intro paragraph, and the last one set us up beautifully to give our body paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. So now we've got 4 paragraphs that are already done, feeding off of the intro. The conclusion is the wrap-up. Now remember, our intro paragraph said, we would be skeptical if a serial murderer who had served 1 week of his sentence claimed that he had found his moral compass and was no longer a threat to society. Author Charles Dickens presented his character, Scrooge, with 3 opportunities for behavioral modification in his story, A Christmas Carol. Scrooge had to consider an event from his past, one from his present, and a possible complication to his future before he experienced personal growth. So our conclusion now feeds back off of the intro paragraph. The conclusion has to restate the topic, it has to reword the 3 points, and it has to connect all of the ideas. So this might be a possible concluding paragraph. A character must have sufficient time and motivation in order to make a behavioral change believable. During his interaction with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, Scrooge fundamentally changed from a bah humbug into a person who embraces the spirit of Christmas. So we have tied back the idea that in order to be believable, a character has to be motivated to make a change and also given sufficient time. Well, the 3 ghosts gave Scrooge 3 opportunities to reflect on his ideas of Christmas. So Scrooge actually had enough time in order to consider all of those parts. It wasn't as though I'm a serial killer, but now I found my moral compass. Boom! I'm cured. No, it didn't happen that way for Scrooge. There wasn't a sufficient amount of time in order for him to actually consider his life and what he was going to be doing in the future. Also, he was certainly sufficiently motivated to make the change, so he had sufficient time. The motivation was when he actually realized that nobody was going to care about him as he aged if he kept up the same type of behavior. He was motivated in order to change his idea about the spirit of Christmas. So the restatement of the topic, was that a character needed sufficient time and motivation. The rewording of the 3 points, there's a reference to the 3 ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. And then it goes back to the idea that Scrooge fundamentally changed from his bah humbug, which I don't like Christmas, to someone who embraced the spirit of Christmas. So there was a shift. The conclusion paragraph connected all of the ideas from the actual introduction through all your example of the 3 body paragraphs.